So I just solved the mystery of Jack and my relentless phone calls.
The saga of Jack has been one for the history books, I would say.
So we just figured it out. So what better than to start off the episode kind of exposing this man for who he is? No, I'm just kidding. It's not that dark.
This is fucking Coffee with Rachel.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Chris. And this is a wild ride
from start to finish.
I don't know why we didn't think about this thing. We're just
so
did sooner.
So upon preparing for this podcast, I like to check out my news app and see if there's like anything interesting happening like in science or tech or something like that, so we can talk about it. And there was an article that I was reading about how to stop like robot calls to your phones, because I don't know about any of you listening, but I have certainly, even before Jack, like even BJ, okay?
BJ. Oh
I was experiencing a lot more telemarketer bullshit on my phone.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed all of the calls too. I've been getting a lot more too, but...
like spam calls.
Yeah.
I used to not get them like at all. I thought like you couldn't get them on cell phones because like how would they have your phone number unless you have it like listed on a website, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
So, if you've been listening to our podcast for the last, like, couple months, I switched my phone number. I got a new phone number because I wanted a Seattle area code, and I was getting all of these, like, weird, like, collect calls and texts for people, like, having sessions with me, and I just didn't know what was happening.
Also calls for, like, expensive cars and whatnot.
Yeah, Maserati dealers in Seattle calling me constantly.
So, very sketchy.
And so I was like, what is happening? But it was very annoying because, like, I have a white noise app that plays sound when I'm sleeping, and that's the only way I stay asleep. And now it's literally, like, the absence of that noise is what wakes me up more than actual noise.
Yeah.
So when I get a phone call, that app like stops playing. So I'm like woken up to all these weird calls, and I was just getting really frustrated. And then I'm reading this article about how you can stop, like, these spam calls. And apparently you can actually download apps that, like, filter the calls that you're getting and shit.
I know it said that it doesn't filter, like, the calls you want, but I always get nervous that it will anyway.
There's, like, two options for this one. It's, like, no robocalls or robocalls no more or something like that. It's the app. And it's, like, you pay, like, $1.99 a month. And instead of, you can either have it, like, totally keep the calls from being on your phone, or it just like flashes something up on your screen when you're getting one of those calls that like lets you know like, hey, this is not even like something that you should pick up, just like hit decline.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this article, and then one of the first things that they say is like, why don't you Google your number just to see like if it is anywhere listed online, and that's where like all of these spammy people are like pulling the number from. So I did that. And I found Jack.
Jack has been discovered. He is not lost on an island.
I've seen his face. I know his face now. It's so weird. He's a realtor.
He's a realtor.
Not a drug dealer. Not some sort of like gang member prison situation. Because I was getting all these collect calls. So I was like, what is happening? Though I don't know. Like, I still don't. There's a lot
of confusion happening. So we know the mysterious Jack.
There's a contact, and I'm gonna fucking contact him and be like, hey buddy, can you remove my number from your fucking website?
I want to know why he changed everything. Like, why did he do this? He like, did he start a new life, or is he one of those people that like, he's like, I'm leaving my current life, just drops off and
maybe
goes away?
Maybe he just got a new number, or maybe it's something more serious, and maybe he, like, changed
fraud?
His whole life, and we're not even going to get any answer back with this.
Was he selling homes he wasn't supposed to be? Was he fraudulent? Was he doing
bad things? I don't know. The Maserati is the red herring, I feel. Like, what is going on there? I'm going to literally put that in my email. I'll be like, I'm getting calls. Can you tell your Maserati dealer to fuck off and what your new number is? I just want to know. God. Because I get these calls, and they're 206 numbers, so I'm like, oh, this is therapy, or it's my job or something, or like it's my healthcare, and it's not. It's Maserati dealers. Please fuck off.
Hopefully this will come to an end.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's been going on.
Well, let's talk about the coffee that we have here.
Yes, this is from a bench.
Yes, Lauren, who we have definitely, I think we've had this coffee before, but it's definitely a face I like to see around here.
What is it?
It's a Detroit Bold Woodward Avenue.
I don't know if we had her before.
I recognize her face.
Okay.
It's here.
All right, well, so this is from Lauren May Lettering on Instagram, who I've been following for like a few months, because she did like a really cool font for Coffee with Rachel before.
Yes.
And on their Instagram page, they'll do like lettering for different Harry Potter like artifacts and stuff. So like, or just like ideas,
like Lumos and Nox.
Yeah, or like the Twi Wizard tournament. Like I saw that one recently, and I just think they're really cool, and they actually like look right for what's being said. I don't know, it was cool.
So go check them out.
I follow a lot of like lettering people because I'm not good at that shit yet.
Also got some toys for the chunks.
Yeah.
They very much appreciated those like semi-translucent holographic crunchy balls.
Yeah, they love those little crunchy balls. I wonder like why. What does that mimic? Do you think Squeezy was munching on pine cones before we got him?
Or plastic in a garbage can?
That sounds right.
He is a sewer rat. Fucking sewer rat.
The other night, so we've already talked about when I eat salt and vinegar chips, like he's there and I let him like lick my fingers after. So the other day, now he's getting like so brazen during that situation. He took a chip from my hand, like I didn't even know.
He's like a fucking seagull. Like.
Yeah. It's so true. He took it from my hand and like carried it in his mouth away from me. Like I had to chase that shit. Like I had to get him.
Lila
it was a big piece.
Is a fan of the saltine.
Like Lila hates everything. Like we don't normally give them anything, but like Lila doesn't.
I like to let them sniff the food just to see what they'll do. Lila doesn't like anything that has any remote odor to it. Like
she's got it's her nose. It's so small.
Yeah, her little pink snoot. It's so sensitive. So let's talk about a coffee fact.
Yeah.
And the fact today is going to be...
That he doesn't have one.
That I don't have one, but I also did a poll on my Twitter over the weekend.
Chris loves to do polls on
Twitter. I love
Twitter.
to start heated debates about menial things like what's your favorite nut or fruit or whatever.
What's the next one that you're going to do? What do you think? Give the people a little sneak peek.
I don't know. I did nuts. I did fruits I did vegetables. And now I did coffee brands.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
What a mix.
I'll have to
maybe do like ice cream brands.
Oh my god, yo.
There's a lot there.
Wow.
He likes to
Puss.
Oh my god, stop. Oh my god, when I was playing that word cookie game and puss was a word, I was like, this is too much for me.
Fuck. But,
so the coffee fact is that he did this survey of the people on Twitter.
Yeah, and I picked like 12 brands that are like popular. There's obviously like a million that are more regional, but I did ones that are like really...
We tried to do grocery stores.
Yeah, obviously like Wawa was in there, and there was like Tim Hortons and shit, but it came...
Dunkin', Starbucks, Gevalia.
And then there was like Folgers and Maxwell and like
the
Whole
answers
Foods.
Were disturbing.
It came down to like the final one was between Wawa, thank you, Starbucks, and Folgers, which, first of all, how did Folgers get
there?
I put Folgers in there because I was like, what's a grocery store brand that I haven't listed yet? Folgers. Okay, I'll just
Did you already have Maxwell House?
I did have Maxwell House.
Maxwell House, I feel like, is Folgers, like,
Maxwell House is the bottom
cousin
of the chain.
Yeah.
It is I was going to say the result of the incest. It is there at the bottom.
Okay. There's a dark narrative
The Folgers is something, it's not that great.
It's something. So
it lost to Gevalia. Like, that upset me.
Yeah, it upset me that it lasted over, like, Dunkin', too. Or Tim Hortons. The Canadians were out and about on that poll.
Yeah, they almost got Wawa kicked out because it was going against Tim Hortons. But it came down to those
I feel
three.
like people chose Wawa because we're so annoying about it.
There were so many people that said, like, I've never had Wawa, but I'm going to pick it because you guys like it so much. But
don't apply that to any more important things that we talk about.
But Wawa, I didn't expect to win because, it's only an East Coast thing. I understand. Starbucks won, obviously. I guess,
I guess you guys don't mind burnt beans.
Somebody tweeted me, they were like, my dad and I call it Charbucks because it's always burnt.
That's actually really true.
So Starbucks won.
Yeah. All right. Well, something that I wanted to talk about today is, we're going to talk about coffee. So clear coffee. I've been tweeted this 100 billion times. Someone has formulated a coffee that is clear, and the whole gimmick is that it's not going to stain your teeth. Thoughts?
How?
Yes.
First of all, I want to know how.
Is it a process of filtering until the color... what bean did you get that created a clear... You know what I mean?
I want to know...
How
does
modified?
it just end up being, like, water with caffeine in it? Or... does it still have coffee flavor?
Like the distinct flavor.
Is it like caffeine water, but like, you know how you have those little like sugar drops that you drop into a bottle of water that change the color and make it like
Everything always
Kool-Aid?
tastes like that one weird thing, you know? It just has a weird flavor. Like, they serve these things at Starbucks, and they're called, like, hint of something, and they have, like, berry in them, and I used to drink them when I worked there, and they were, like, caffeinated water, and it has a tiny little bit of, like, a berry after finish, and you're like, this is shit, but I'm drinking it.
So, is it like that? Does it have the full-bodied flavor of coffee? Also, I would never...
Is that something, because it's clear, would you want it served iced just because of the color? Or would you have a hot, steaming cup of clear
Now, are
coffee?
we calling, like... Are we saying clear as in, like...
It's literally
crystal,
clear, like looking like water.
Looking like water.
Imagine adding your creamer to that.
How?
And then it looks like you're drinking a cup of milk.
How you can get any sort of, like... water that's like soaking through like a nut or a berry or a fruit or whatever, like it always is going to change a color, like always. So how do they get that?
Unless it's unnatural.
Yeah, it's got to be unnatural as hell.
Will we try it?
I mean,
depends how expensive it is.
I wouldn't be opposed to trying. I want to know what it's like.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that would give me like a panic attack. I don't
honestly,
know why.
There's probably like... I'm not going to change. Like, I'm sure my teeth will stay yellowy even without, like, having that. And I'll just fucking, use Crest White Strips or get something done,
Yeah, that's
I'm not sacrificing... Like, the appeal. It's got a nice, like, brown...
Camel.
A nice camel color to it.
If it's not going to look good on your nails, don't drink it.
Exactly.
You heard it first. Right here.
I don't just want a top coat. I
want just a buff shine. You want a little camel. Because I have this buffer right now. It's like a 4-sided thing, and I got like a pack of 4 of them on Amazon for like $6. And they make your nails look like you're wearing like a clear coat. I'll have to tweet a link to them. They're like really cheap. But, while we're on the subject.
Well, I wanted to bring up when you were talking about the lettering and the Harry Potter related lettering. Let's talk about Jude Law as Dumbledore.
Oh, I thought you were like, let's talk about lettering.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love the letter B.
Oh, well, honestly, though, what is your favorite letter?
Oh, my God. That is a tough one. Wow.
I almost want to say S. I'm such a Slytherin.
Wow.
But it's just, she's so snake-like and, like, such curves. And it's always there. You can depend on S. I feel like most people just pick the first letter of their name, but I'm not that attached to R.
C is not that cool.
Ooh, but it is. There's a soft and a hard. Are you a cuck or are you cuse? I don't know.
What is your favorite letter to write? What is your favorite one to write?
Well, I write cursive, so I would say L's. Okay. They're just beautiful. Or a nice W.
I hate doing a lowercase b.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck B's.
Also, I don't know, like, any capital cursive letters besides C and
I feel
H.
like this is the adult version of that one segment of Sesame Street right now.
Oh, my God.
So, that's cool. Thank you for alphabet discourse. But yeah, so Jude Law, he's here.
He's Dumbledore.
He's the young pope. Now he's the young Dumble, as every news outlet made that joke before I did.
I'll say I have mixed feelings, but, I mean, I had to see him in the role.
Yeah.
That'll be, like, the main deciding factor. I did see a side-by-side picture of him.
Like...
Against, wow, I forget his name, the second Dumbledore, and they look...
The real Dumbledore.
They look alike. So, put it on some beard on him.
Give him a beard.
Yeah, and he'll look like it.
Here's my thoughts. I didn't have to see Johnny Depp in the role to know I was gonna fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Because, one, I don't like him as an actor. I think he's just a lot.
Yeah.
And then also him as a person. Jude Law, not great track record with women. Not gonna lie. And also, I like him more as an actor, though. But I'm still like, couldn't we have found anyone less huge? I don't know.
Also,
what is it with this cast?
Disappointing that it wasn't somebody...
LGBT.
Yeah, LGBT. Like, let's just...
That's asking for too much,
That's too much.
You gotta have a gay just to even get started.
Yeah.
You can't do anything crazy, like have real representation. Get the fuck out of here.
I was kind of questioning when they said that Colin Farrell, because he was like the first big name that they said for this series, and he was actually really good. And I've seen a lot of people say that if he was Grindelwald, because he basically played Grindelwald the whole first
and they had somebody
movie,
else be like Graves or whatever his name is.
Then that would have been cool, because he did a really good job as that, I think.
Yeah.
Like, being an asshole.
And like the main trio, essentially. I mean, you have Newt Scamander. It's really a quad, actually.
Yeah.
You have Newt. He's already done a lot, but, like, I feel like he's still fresh, you know? Like,
he's not, like... He's gotten, like, the one movie that...
well, he did the Danish Girl and The Theory of Everything.
The Theory of Everything, that was, like, Academy
and
Award
Les
winner.
Mis.
See, yeah, he's done these things, and, like, he's getting a name for himself, but he's still not, like, that fucking...
You're not like, wow, Johnny Depp, go away, and what accent is that?
Yeah, he's not the, like, Robert Downey Jr., Johnny Depp level yet, you know, fame, you know what I mean?
And Colin Farrell, I feel like, you had forgotten about him, so you were like, oh yeah, phone
eyebrows.
booth. What's he up to? Eyebrows! We went 2 ways. So I don't know, I guess we'll have to see. I ended up on fucking MuggleNet. Because of my damn tweet. Because when I think Jude Law, I immediately think The Holiday, which is arguably the greatest movie he's ever been in. And it's the only movie with Jack Black that I can stomach. It's just Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz dancing to fucking Mr. Brightside. Like, you can't go wrong with that.
Sounds
it's
like
classic.
It was a great time. It was a great time. But you were saying, we were both saying that, like, they should have went the Star Wars, the new trilogy route of, like, getting unknown people to make these huge
play them
roles.
iconic, yeah.
Because, like, there's a couple of reasons why it works so well, and it's because, one, these people are brand new and they're being cast in, like, a fucking, like, huge World Series thing that's going to be very popular, so, like, they're going to put their everything into this role. Like, they're going to dedicate it because this will make their career for them.
Yeah.
And also... it would be great that if you could have somebody that you don't know so well outside of their roles, so that way you could be like that. Like when I see what's
when I
Daisy
think of Jude
Ridley,
Law,
I see wow, that's Rey.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean.
And when I think Jude Law, I think this like womanizing kind of like
Pope.
Suave, like not a well, yeah, but like this like suave fucking like trying to like I don't know be flirty and like. I don't know, seductive, and that's not who I'm picturing for Dumbledore, but then again, I didn't know young Dumbledore, so maybe he was a womanizer. That doesn't make sense. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, I can't imagine him playing it in that kind of, like, wise and all-knowing way, but at the same time, I guess he's younger, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm on the fence. We'll have to see how the role is. Still don't like his past.
I'm just
women.
like, we're gonna see. It's just gonna be him and Johnny Depp being paired off in a movie, and like, I don't want to be there.
And then like fucking Newt being on the side, like, hey, I'm here, guys.
Remember the magical beasts?
Here's my dragon. Here's my beasts.
Here's my fantastic beast. It's the only one in this whole movie. I understand why they decided to go on the vehicle of Fantastic Beasts and play this story out with Grindelwald and everything, but at the same time,
it didn't need to be.
It could have been a separate franchise.
Again, that should have been one movie about him like traveling the fucking world trying to find these beasts or whatever.
Yeah,
and
like a whimsical. Just
I picture like a
movie.
fucking Charles Darwin like on a fucking island.
Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, like.
Oh my god, David Attenborough. But of Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, like that kind of shit. Except him just like fucking going around trying to find all these things instead of like, oh my god, my briefcase opened in New York.
And there's
Whoopsies.
3. There's literally 3. And you get that one scene where you're in the briefcase and you see everything.
This is the coolest thing.
But that's literally it, yeah.
Oh, man. So we'll see how that turns out.
So when I think of Fantastic Beasts, I kind of think of aliens. And
oh my god.
NASA,
I wonder if they'll introduce those into the series.
I would love to have that happen. So NASA decided to come in hot. So we're riding on the coattails of the entire like world going to shit right now, and a possibility of like World War III, you know, on our heels, as you will. And then NASA drops us with really important information about Saturn's moons.
Okay, what's going on?
Have you been reading about this at all?
I've seen something briefly, but I did not read. Enlighten me.
So they found there's like this deep layer of Saturn where a lot of like life could have been kept and food source for an alien race. And so they think it's like, you know, a prospect.
Oh my god.
Of finding something. Because we haven't been to Saturn, in case you didn't know. Probably telescopically we have been.
Yes. We have things that maybe fly by, but we've never been on
We've never been there.
Yeah.
And that, I would say, is closer than some of these other prospects that they have and those, like, other, like, galaxies or whatever.
If it's in our solar system, then there's actually a chance, maybe.
So who would have known, 2017, they're actually like, you know what, Saturn, keeping on the DL over there. We didn't really think anything could be going on there. They just have that one blemish. Oh, wait, no, that's Jupiter. Just Jupiter's got the blem.
Yeah.
Saturn's got the rings.
I absolutely believe that within our lifetime, we will have concrete evidence of...
In our lifetime?
In our lifetime, we will have concrete evidence of, like, either contact with something else or just the fact that, like, we have found something that is alive on another planet.
I want a selfie from an alien race.
Like, some sort of amoeba.
On Snapchat. Speaking of Snapchat, so they're, like, losing their minds right now because, one, Instagram stories... which I still don't use as much as Snapchat because I'm so used to Snapchat, but I feel like I need to be using more because there's more people on Instagram. There's a lot
of people there.
They're saying that, like, Instagram is kicking ass with their stories. Like, the majority of people are using that over Snapchat now. Wow. And so that's all shitty, right? You know, because they got that.
Stories, woo!
Yeah, that. Can you believe? I don't want to know what any of you have to say. It's Facebook. I don't need to see you fucking... I already didn't need to see your Facebook lives for your house, you know, with like 4 people watching. Like, what is the point of that? I mean, there's that dude killing people on Facebook Live today. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
That's a open story, so I'm not going to comment yet until we know more. But fuck, you know? But... So
Facebook Live bringing out the worst people.
Honestly, though, like...
Live streaming things were... I'm sure it was bad things, but, like, wow, things didn't start getting bad until it came to Facebook.
I feel like that's where the dwellers are, you know? But, yeah, so Instagram's, you know, doing well with Instagram stories. And then the Snapchat CEO, so I guess, like, a bitter, like, former employee, like, basically said that the CEO said something to the effect of, like... Snapchat is for rich people and that they're not worried about expanding it to poor countries such as India and Spain.
Okay.
So not great. It's alleged. It's not been confirmed that he did say this, but you know.
All right, first of all, I would not consider India or Spain to be poor countries.
I know.
You know what I mean?
So what's happening is, like, a lot of people are boycotting Snapchat, especially from India, and, like, you go on the reviews on, like, the Google, like, App Store or whatever, and iTunes, and there's a ton of people giving, like, 1-star reviews and being like, India, blah, 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 doesn't stand for this, you know what I mean? Like, we are more than just, like, a quote-unquote poor country, etc., like...
Snapchat
they're not doing so hot right now
because, like, obviously they don't, and it's the same way with Twitter too. They're trying to figure out ways to make money. Actually, like Twitter's had the problem now with Snapchat. Snapchat is I saw it was like valued at like $500 something billion is what it's worth, but like they don't make that much money. So it's a little weird.
Like Instagram, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to make their money. I know they have like ads. Like when you're on Instagram, the app, and like they were bought by Facebook, right?
Yeah. It is
so like
Facebook,
they don't need it like Snapchat does. Now here's the difference between Snapchat and Twitter. You could live without Snapchat because now you do have other apps where you can see that shit. But Twitter is like people like now it's becoming like the newest news outlet. Like and that's from like all parties. Like I'm not just saying that to be like funny. Like it's legitimately like a news source for some people.
I mean if the president's using it on a daily basis. Like,
and like there's like actual news broadcasts that you can see if you don't have cable.
Yeah, they do their own sort of live streaming shit as well.
Exactly. Like presidential debates and all kinds of stuff and like you're seeing what other like government officials have to say and
Twitter is where a hashtag is the most effective.
Yeah, and
that's
would
a huge
say
marketing thing now. So.
It sucks that they don't know how to make money off of it, but
they're learning to.
Their value is definitely like it's more for me personally. I mean, like fuck, like I could live without sending out a Snapchat of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you weren't doing videos, you were doing like Instagram videos, not like even stories.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's something that you don't necessarily like have to have. I feel like that's why Twitter is going to survive, and I don't know, maybe Snapchat will go. It's wild.
I think Snapchat is too big of a monster now to leave. Like, it's too ingrained.
They're going to have to introduce something that makes their app more valuable to use with still having the basis of stories and, like, photos that go away for a certain amount of time. They need to add something else to it that Instagram won't have.
Yeah, because that's
like
the
some
way
other
that the
fundamental...
fucking market works. You got a product, somebody makes it and does it, and is getting better at it. You got to do something new.
What do you think they'll do?
Oh my god, I have no idea.
Because I don't think anyone really gives a shit about the Discover part of the app. And that's where they obviously have to make their money.
Yeah,
by
that's where the
having
moneymaker is. But also they have like the different advertising filters, you know what I mean? Like the different filters that are for different shit.
Yeah, but they don't pay. Now they got rid of where you have to buy filters. They tried that.
Yeah.
And that failed. So I'm trying to think what will happen.
Companies are advertising by making a filter.
Yeah, of course.
That's something that they make money by.
Apparently, like you can like call people and like you can get a filter made like around like a specific event, like if you're having like a wedding or some shit.
I've seen that.
I don't know how you do it
to your area, but
that's kind of cool. That'd be funny.
We'll have to see how it goes because, you know, there's going to be everything has a fucking story and a filter and a live feed and all this shit. I don't know where I'm supposed to broadcast my life to.
I know. I just have too many places and it's like I've said this before, I don't have enough stories to tell.
Yeah.
I already have 2 hours of podcast on a good week. You know what I mean? Like
we're just here for this classic audio.
Classic audio.
We're the fucking radio.
So you had an article that you read about smart devices actually being dumb, and I was interested to hear more about that.
So, in this I feel as though the world is going to end up looking like how WALL-E's world looks like.
Okay.
Where it's like we all just have robots doing everything, and like we forget how to do everything for ourselves. And some of these devices, like...
It's like reverse Darwinism.
Yeah.
It's making us weaker.
Like, if you ever watch the movies, like, people, they have these robots doing everything for them, and they don't know how to work anything anymore because they're so far removed out of it.
Yeah.
So... there's like these devices that make me fear for that, and there's this list of like these smart devices that are really dumb and that nobody needs.
It's meaning like dumb in the sense that it only has like one functionality.
That's,
you know what I mean? Like
really
a smartphone,
needed.
like there's so many things that you can do with your phone.
Absolutely,
but
and
like a one
like a smart
product.
TV, even like a smart TV is good because it's got like apps and everything, connects to the internet. But it's like a smart toaster. That's one of the things that's on this list.
And what does it do? How is it smart?
Well, it's $100, and all it does is it sends you a push notification when your toast is about to be done. That's all it does, and. Now, just think about that. How long does it take toast to make? Like 3 minutes? And where are you going?
Like, how far away are you from your toaster? But also, if a toaster, like, doesn't keep toasting. I mean, I know there's, like, residual warmth, but, like...
It's not
like something that you have to, like, take out of the oven.
Yeah, it's not like that.
Whenever I hear of these devices, I just try to look at it from a way where it's like, okay, well, how would somebody that's not as, you know... physically abled as I am use it.
Yeah, and that's totally fine if it's a smart device in that way, but it's things like this where like you don't need this toaster to be like it's not gonna burn down the house if it's sitting there for a minute. Like if you walk away for a minute you can come back. Like I'm not gonna pop the toast in and then walk away, go use the bathroom while I'm like mid shit, come back, run to the kitchen. Oh my god, my toast is gonna be done. My phone just told me, you know what I mean?
Maybe it's for anxious people like me who hate sitting there and anticipating when the toast is gonna pop. So you need an app to tell you to like gird your loins and prepare for the toast. Because honestly, I could see that.
But to me, that just thinks...
I wouldn't pay $100 for it.
Yeah, it's too much.
That's a lot of money for toast. We have a 2-slice, like, $20 toaster, and
I'd rather
serves
put
me
that
well.
towards a nice 4-slicer.
A nice 4-slicer. I thought you were going to say, like, a Ford Fusion. Like, okay, let's not do that.
There's a pair of flip-flops that has, like, a chip inside of it, and then you download an app to go along with it, and all it does is it just sends you push notifications about... sales for this brand.
Why do you need that?
Like, it doesn't do...
First of all, who's spending
it's like
$100 on flip-flops?
It's like $100 and something bucks for these flip-flops as well, yeah.
Okay, first mistake there. Don't do that.
Yes.
Second, why? You could just start, like, sign up for, like, email notifications. Like, subscribe to a newsletter. That's free.
Like, all of these things are trying to send you more push notifications. I want less.
I want no one to push me. The fact that it's called push already, leave. If it was just call notifications, I would be okay with it.
Oh,
Not really,
God,
though.
it's terrifying.
Today I got like 6 emails about Bath & Body Works having a 40% off sale. And I don't know how I have that many emails. Because I have, when I'm looking at my email account, it's like all of the different accounts I have. Mm-hmm. Because I made a separate email account specifically for online shopping so that all of the coupons would go to one place. And if I didn't want to like see that all, I couldn't. So I don't know how this is happening. I feel like Bath & Body Works has like a legion of robots that like finds people's emails and lets us know.
You know, from the last time we talked about how they mark up their prices so much, like they use that money to track you down.
Yeah, the candle money.
The candle conspiracy. It's actually the Illuminati. They're
Maybe
out to get you.
It's all of the money that they're saving because on the wallflower plug-in bulbs, they cut off the little nipple at the bottom that makes it impossible for you to like stand it up.
Honestly, the greatest design choice to ever happen.
Flat boy.
If we had that when we were in college, you never would have had your shot glass taken away from you.
I'll never forget.
Yeah,
and they
that's
were like,
all it was used for.
It was just a nice hot pink shot glass that said "bitch" on it. Yeah. And it was taken, and that's where I kept my wallflowers.
When we were on break.
I know. They didn't find, like, the fucking handle of alcohol in my rain boot, though. Thank God. I mean, it's literally designed for a leg or a bottle of alcohol. Like, come on, you decide.
So some of these other devices that are on here, there is an egg tray for inside of your fridge.
Oh, I've seen that.
That lets you know
tells you when your eggs are getting bad.
When they're going bad and when you're about to run out. Like... Which I can see how I'm about to run out. Like, if I see there's less there, I know I need some more. But, like...
How much steak do you put in eggs? Like, I would like something like that, but it tells me about my lettuce. Because lettuce is, like, every day... The smallest change, and she's gone. Yeah. You could even just bought it, like, the day before, and anything could happen. But eggs, we don't even buy eggs anymore, but... You know what I'm saying?
There's another...
I want one for pretzels. How many pretzels are in this box still, without me even having to look?
There's the Amazon Dash buttons, which some of them are useful, absolutely.
Like, I would do that for, like, toilet paper. Yeah. The Dash buttons, if you don't know what they are, they're, like, literally you push a button, and it automatically orders, like, that product. So... Ideally, you'd use it for something that you buy often, like
that's obviously a very privileged thing to own because, like, for people.
How much money are they?
They're really cheap. They're like just a couple dollars.
See, I don't trust that because when we buy all of our toilet paper on Amazon already, but I always look for like the most rolls for the right price. You know what I mean? Like, how would I know that specific thing that I pushed was on sale? You
have to have such a bank account that you don't really need to worry about if the price has increased or not. That you can just blindly push this button and order it. That's not an everyday person kind of thing.
You're right. It's not marketed towards me and my simple life.
But there was the one that they were talking about was for Wonderful Pistachios,
like the green,
like that the brand,
the pistache.
And like they're like, what kind of crisis are you in, and where you have such a pistachio craving that you need to like push this now so that you never run out of pistachios.
And like is it 1 day shipping or is it just like the normal? You know what I mean? Like, why do you need a button to order something online that's still going to take like 5 to 7 business days?
Yeah.
Like, you get on the computer at that point, or your phone.
Obviously, it's smart for the company.
It's just like, wow, it's great that we can do this.
Yeah.
It's great. Let's do it with something else like healthcare. I want to push a button and have myself be insured. And let's do that for all Americans.
This one sounds kind of smart. It's luggage that has the ability to weigh itself.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
See, that's useful. It saves you the, 20-minute wait to do that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they would still weigh it themselves, but you can know if you're gonna, go over the limit, even though nobody has carry-ons anymore, so, And
also, no one cares, honestly. I've never gotten yelled at for my bag being too overweight, and it definitely has been in the past. But at the same time, I know people that have, so I don't know.
Speaking of carry-on bags, United, they making changes. They carried on a
scorpion?
Yeah, 2 different things from United, and I'm gonna love the recent future now where we're gonna just see everybody dragging United for everything they ever do.
Yeah.
So they had a scorpion on a flight. That was,
That's
Snakes
terrifying.
on a Plane, the sequel.
Yeah, but that was real, and Samuel L. Jackson was not present. So that's wild. Also, they're changing it now so basically when they overbook these flights, the reason why they have to kick people off is because they have to have, seats for the staff, I guess. or like if you work for the company. So now they're correcting that, and so they won't take people off a flight just for a staff member to have a seat or whatever.
So their new policy now is going to be, we're going to still overbook. We're just not going to have any staff members, so nothing happens. Like
Who's flying my plane?
The pilot's gone. It's just like, you guys fend for yourself.
It's just you push an Amazon Dash button and that saves your life. That's how it happens. See, that's what... Alright, we're working on fucking, like, instant corn or whatever, like, via a dash button or a toaster, but I want something that will get me from point A to point B for under $100 and fast as lightning. Go.
Teleportation. Come
I
on.
want that.
Flu powder. Let's do it.
Ooh, I wouldn't do flu powder.
Apparate. Whatever.
Yeah. I wouldn't apparate either. Fuck. I don't know what I would want.
Would you splinch yourself?
Oh, I would be the person that would totally come out splinched. Splunched?
Splanched.
Speaking of splanched, okay, so settle a debate with us. The word slum. Why does it exist?
Okay, so...
How did this even get brought up?
You read it in, like, a Wikipedia article that something had...
Oh, yeah, he had never heard of the story The Most Dangerous Game. Has anyone else read that? You read it in, like, 7th grade. But now that you read it
to me, then I recognized it, but I just never read it.
And then, like, other people have kind of used that old story as, like, a vehicle for shit.
Kind of basis of Hunger Games-esque a little bit. So.
But anyway, so in that summary, they had the word swum, like, the past tense... the past tense of swimming. So I always say swam. Like, I swam to France. I don't know why, but I did.
Apparently,
swum is actually correct.
Swum is actually the form you should be using. Not that swam is incorrect.
Swam is like a poor man's swum. Like the not classy version of swum. But swum sounds like something. Like a swamp. Like, I don't know, it's not cute. Like, I just picturing myself, like, in the act of swimming. Like, would you have rather swam? Like, that's cheerful. You're wearing, like, a nice cap and you're swimming around. Or did you swum? Like,
I feel as though, like, swum feels like I just came out of, like, Shrek's swamp, you know? But,
I am muddy.
But also, swam is just very, like, biting and harsh. Like, I just swam in the Atlantic. Like,
I just swam orange. That's me, you know? And that's probably where it came from.
Honestly, no wonder why English is such a fucking hard language to learn.
You guys are probably like, what the fuck? And so are we.
How do you say
I
colonel?
still can't spell restaurant correctly without having to, like, really think, like, deep think.
Restaurant.
There's so many words that mean the same thing. And it's not even just slang.
Wednesday,
it's literally...
you know?
Oof, I'll never... Febrew.
Colonel is the one that gets me the most because it looks nothing like it.
I'll tell you right now, you're gonna laugh your ass off. So when I read for the first time Looking for Alaska by John Green, RIP 2014. Just kidding, it was 2004.
Were you calling him Colonel?
I was calling him the Colonel, like in my head, because I wasn't reading out loud. Like what? But also when you're playing like Colonel Mustard, I thought it was like
that's what
Colonel.
I was thinking. In Clue, I was like, oh, Colonel Mustard.
Also, if you had to be a Clue binge, who would you be?
Ooh,
I'm Miss Scarlet.
I probably
always
fucking Plummo.
Yeah, you're totally Professor Plum.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say Mr. Green.
Yeah, runner up.
Ugh, why?
I don't know.
What the fuck? Obviously, like, Miss Peacock.
I'm going off of colors here.
Miss Peacock, like a nice turquoise. You're gonna. Oh, I guess green is a nice color because it is my favorite color. But I'm just I'm focused on his chin.
Green. What the fuck?
It's the man behind the color that I'm just like. There's something there.
Well, I picked Plummo.
Yeah. Well, Professor Plum kind of looks like you. Now I want to play Clue.
All right, so let's take a little commercial break, and then we'll be right back with some questions.
So Easter was yesterday, and hopefully you got something in your basket. But if not, why not get something appropriate like a rabbit vibrator from AdamandEve.com?
I mean, it was practically made for the occasion.
As always, you can go to AdamandEve.com and get 50% off just about any item and free shipping if you use code CWC.
You also get a couple of free cool gifts when you make an order with that code. You get a free mystery gift, still unsure. We need to know what that is. And 3 free adult DVDs.
So just go to AdamandEve.com and use code CWC to get that offer. And get off.
Okay, so as always, first question is going to be from patreon.com/CoffeeWithChrachel from the Binchos who help support the show. If you guys want to help out, you can go check that out. But this first one is from Liv, who said, how would y'all like to have your coffee if you could only have it for one way for the rest of your life?
Hot with a little bit of cream.
So just like a regular cup of
like a
coffee.
mug.
Like, I'm assuming, out of all the ways that you could possibly have a coffee espresso kind of beverage, I would just have it as the classic, drip.
Classic drip bean.
With fucking cream in it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of cream.
I'm not that big of an iced coffee person. Like, I do enjoy a nice iced coffee.
Like, when it's really fucking hot out in the middle of summer,
want.
Absolutely, it's great.
But I could live if I had to choose one or the other.
And
I'm always a hot beverage kind of girl.
That's one of the reasons why I could never live in California. It's
an iced coffee state.
Yeah, and I need to live in a place where I can enjoy the warm beverages such as hot chocolate and coffee and any other holiday time festive drinks. I need to be in a place where I can enjoy those.
I would be unhappy if all of my coffee was cold, because even when it's like scorching outside, your hands still it's like you're just constantly switching hands, and your hands get clammy and moist, and I'm just like, it's a lot. I
could still get an extra hot latte in the middle of fucking July.
And okay, a cup of coffee that gets, cold after sitting out, you microwave it for a second and she's good to go. Iced coffee being left out and the ice melting.
And it's just watered down coffee.
A mess.
And it's all really fucking you got this ring of water around it, from the condensation.
There's layers. I want Bill Nye to talk to me about it. His show comes out really soon. I think it's the 21st of April.
Ooh.
I'm excited for him to be very snarky. I have a feeling he's going to be snarky about climate change.
I can't wait for it.
Me too.
All right, next question is from Megan, who said, what is the wildest conspiracy theory that you at least 1% believe in?
I don't... Ooh. I'm going to have to say...
I would say that, out of all the conspiracy theories that I've heard, the ones that I have a sliver of belief in could be one that, the Illuminati is running the world.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, because there's so much. But do you think that, Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift are secretly reptiles? Because, low-key, I could see it. It's, it's the smallest sliver, but, I don't know, man. It might be the Slytherin.
Can we actually believe that there is not some highly intelligent alien race that has infiltrated our planet, and they are so advanced that they were able to disguise their entry into our society, and that they blend in perfectly? Do you think that's a possibility of something that could be happening right now?
This just became the Stoner podcast. I feel. Yes, I do believe.
But that,
I don't know. Maybe anything's up for grabs. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's Chris. And you don't even know. You're what's his face in Westworld? You don't know.
Oh.
I feel like it's one of those situations where it's in the Vampire Diaries where they're they come in and out of your consciousness and you don't know.
Am I a traveler? Do I have a passenger in me?
You a host situation?
Yeah.
That's the best thing Stephenie Meyer ever did, was the host.
Interesting.
Yo. It was a lot. Okay, well...
I wish the movie would have reviewed better, otherwise I would have seen it.
Yeah, the movie had a good cast, too. It flopped. But I liked it. It was such a good, story of, human nature, and it's what does it mean to actually be a human being, you know what I mean? Or, the soul that actually does have emotions, or the body, the host. It's good. I would read it.
It provokes the mind.
You got that, holographic iris on the cover. Just 10 out of 10. So we did already answer the questions about Jude Law. So let us know what you guys think. Are you excited? Who do you think's going to play young Grindelwald? Or are they going to put Johnny Depp in shitty makeup? I think they're going to put Johnny Depp in shitty makeup.
No, well, I don't think,
Oh, wait,
this
yeah,
is,
as we see him.
This is the time period now. They're going to be in, their, I feel like they said somewhere between 40 and 60 is, what their age is right now.
But they made him look so much older than he already looks.
Maybe it's
he looks like Colonel Sanders, but an asshole.
Maybe it's the dark magic does things to you.
It took away his youth.
Also gave him a shitty accent.
Just did a lot.
Did a lot of things.
That undercut, though.
The next question is from Taryn, who said, how did the process of being diagnosed go for you? Have you had to deal with anyone invalidating your PTSD, since it doesn't fit the typical media depiction?
I mean, not to my face. I'm sure that's happened, speculated online or something. I don't know. I remember when one of my favorite YouTubers, Will Shepherd, he was doing a video about PTSD because he also suffers from PTSD. And I remember, like, it just totally encapsulated my experience, and it was really validating for me to watch this video, and it put, like, what I was feeling into words. And I remember I retweeted it, and then people were like, PTSD? Like, what are you talking about? Like, for what? You know what I mean? It's like, who asks that? Like,
yeah.
Why are you this way? What fucked you up? Like, what?
I mean, people do that for depression, too. Like, why are you sad?
Yeah, what do you mean? So, there was that, but it was just the intention behind it felt like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? You couldn't have possibly had something happen to you that would
kill
result
somebody
in
a war, so you don't have this.
I remember, like, I had even fallen victim to that stereotyping because I remember when I was diagnosed, I was like, I would have never thought that was what I was experiencing, and how it actually is, like, encapsulating the anxiety and depression. Like, those are symptoms of the PTSD, not like things that I'm just generally dealing with myself. And it made so much more sense to what I was dealing with. I don't know.
It seems to me like, this is obviously not for everybody, but like depression and anxiety, like a lot of times they seem to go hand in hand with each other, but also that
it's fun. It's a mix.
They seem to be a resultant of bigger issue.
But you can just have, because I remember my first original diagnosis was GAD, so that's generalized anxiety disorder.
I'm not saying that it has to be that way, but I'm recognizing now that, like, depression and anxiety are, like, more and more becoming, like, just a resultant of something else that is a bigger issue.
Yeah, and that could be the case. So, I don't know. It's been wild. I'll tell you, it's been eye-opening, though. Like, I definitely feel like it's an important step, like, if you can get to that point to get that diagnosis, because it helps. It not only, like, it doesn't put a face to the name that you're dealing with, but it also makes you feel like, I don't know, it's something that I deal with because my emotions were constantly told growing up, like, that they weren't valid, that anything that I was experiencing, like, wasn't important or true or anything, like gaslighting and all of that. So, like, to have somebody else tell me that what I endured was this and putting, like, labels on it, and they're a fucking professional and they're garnering this after, like, you know, weeks of spending time with me or whatever, like, that makes me feel like, oh my god, okay, so, like, I can actually, like, get past this because I actually can admit now that there is a problem, because the way that I was raised, it was like, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with you, but also there's so much wrong with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was like, don't find out what's wrong.
Exactly.
We don't do that because that makes us look bad, because they have, like, a whole stigma against, like, mental health care and all of that, which, like, is bullshit. And a lot of people feel that way too.
I feel in this day and age that, like, there's a thing against, like, you know, self-diagnosing yourself, whether it's, like, a mental thing or, like, a physical thing, like, you know, seeking professional help for that. But I feel like now in this day and age, when we have access to, like, great information on the internet, that, like, wow, you shouldn't be only diagnosing yourself. Like, you can see, like, when you see, like, Will's tweet and you saw that, like, wow, I really fall in line with all of these things that he's talking about when talking about PTSD, that, like, you can, like, get, like, a pretty good idea for yourself.
But you don't want to treat yourself.
You don't want to treat yourself, and you don't want to take just, like, what you read online as, like, the only thing.
Because a lot of the time it's, like, the extreme case. Like, they're trying to, it's, like, very verbatim. And, like, there's so much nuance to mental health and just the way our brains work. Like,
WebMD would be like, you have a cough, you have cancer. Like,
yeah,
you know what
let's
I mean?
think about that.
So, I mean, like, in a way, like,
I literally was having fucking ovulation pain, and Chris was convinced I had a stomach ulcer because of WebMD, but it was just my stupid ass egg moving along.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, right from this fucking fallopian.
Fallopian.
Honestly,
fuck off.
Clue helps me out so much because it tracks your fertility, so I know exactly when I'm not being anywhere near anything, you know? It's great. So this is a question from our Reddit page, and it says, have you watched or seen any of the clips from the latest episode of Survivor where a contestant outed a fellow contestant who is trans? Thoughts? So I read an article about this before the show because I wanted to actually see what happened, because I don't watch Survivor, so I guess that just aired.
I didn't even know that shit was still on, honestly.
I know. So basically there's, like, this dude who's been on Survivor, like, this is, like, his third time, and he's like 50 years old, and he's like a realtor, and he outed like this like 30-year-old trans person on the show, and then the whole, I think they called them like a tribe or whatever, they voted him off for doing that, which like, yo, that's pretty awesome. But it's been like 10 months since that was actually filmed, and so I was reading this article with like a statement from the guy that outed the other guy, and he's like, oh yeah, like I took like the last 10 months to like, you know, really think about it and like reflect and like change. He's been like in therapy and stuff, and like who knows, but he did get fired from his real estate job like as soon as it aired.
They were like, we just want nothing to do with this right
narrative
now, so
at all.
like,
but I think it's fucked up because it's just like, first of all, you don't know how the other people on like the island or whatever are going to react to that. You know what I mean? Like, it's unsafe to out people. Like, how is that not just known?
The whole thing was like, he was like, I'm trying to show that this person is deceitful,
or
so
like
they were deceitful by not being true about their identity, but like
lying, you know, or just being hidden about that, or not being open about that.
That's like a life and death thing.
Yeah, it's not the same as like lying about something that like,
I got some coconuts over here that I'm hiding from the rest of the tribe. Like, you know?
How does that involve any other person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other than, like, people, like, if they weren't okay with someone being trans, then all of a sudden being vengeful.
Predisposed, like, shitty opinions.
Like, it doesn't show that this person is, like, deceitful. I feel really bad for the person who was outed, and I hope they're okay, and I hope that nothing, you know,
people
in their lives were incredibly affected.
Like, the way in which that information comes out.
Yeah,
you know
and
I mean?
I think it's, like, really fucked up of that guy that did it, and, like... I hope he feels terrible about it because, I mean, God, that's, like, the worst karma that you could do. Like, how could you feel comfortable doing that? And, like, I remember, like, in high school and stuff, like, there would be, you know, people that would get outed for, like, being gay. And it was, like, I just could never understand. Like, anytime somebody would confide that in me before they had told other people, I would never, like, tell anyone. Like, what?
Because people can...
That's how I felt when I was coming out.
Like, if somebody would come up to you and be like, oh my God, did you know, like, Susie is gay? Or whatever, you know what I mean?
Anytime somebody was like that, where they outed somebody else, or, like, like, if they were telling me about it, and they had already, like, been told, like, hey, don't tell people about this, and then they're already telling me, I'm looking at that person with, like, oh, you know,
because the
it's
underlying
just not good.
Like, you could, like, if the person you were telling is like, so what, who cares, like, you could always fall back and like, oh well, I just thought that was like interesting or weird, but like, you know, that like the underlying intent of that is like, this is something that makes them lesser.
Yeah,
this is like gossip about them. This is just something that can make us look at them in like a filtered lens.
Well, like, the worst was, like, I remember this one specific instance that this happened to me, like, when I was in high school, and the person that told me was gay themselves and had already had to, like,
person
deal.
Too,
yeah, he was gay that outed the trans person. Yeah, it's fucked up.
You'd think that there would be just like a little bit more understanding when you're within the community.
Yeah, but there's
problems on all fronts.
Yeah.
All right, and the next question is, do you guys try to keep up with any sort of routine or schedule? I know everyone has days where it's like, I'm not doing anything today, but overall, do you try and like always do like laundry on Wednesdays or clean the apartment at noon or some things like that?
We definitely have like a nighttime routine.
Absolutely.
We do like a sweep of the whole house to
it's definitely,
cat-proof it and clean
honestly,
up.
The cats were like the main catalyst in having this sort of nighttime routine.
Catalyst.
It takes like a good half hour, 45 minutes to be like prepping the house to be ready to go to sleep. So there's no paper anywhere for Squeezy. There's no random jingle balls that Squeezy can smack around the house.
It's mostly Squeezy.
Yeah, Squeezy, like Lila surprisingly sleeps most of the night when we're sleeping.
The only thing you have to do for Lila is you have to perfectly tent a blanket over the couch to form a cave that she can get in, but you have to leave a little bit of the blanket like rolled up so that she has access to the cave.
Yeah, Squeezy, you gotta like make sure everything is away. He can't touch anything.
And,
like,
you know, fresh food and water. He gets so excited when you bring out the Brita filter. That's when he knows.
Oh my God, he knows where his food is in the cabinet.
We don't really like we used to try to go grocery shopping on like the same day, but now because we're so close to grocery stores, we kind of like just pop in and out when we run out of things, so we don't go like all at once.
We make like a big trip like every once in a while, but we're also just grabbing things as we need them. And I like to do it that way for produce reasons, you know?
Yeah, it keeps my produce fresh and these cheeks glowing.
Oh my God. But I mean, obviously, schedules are built around when we're working primarily.
And like now that I got a new job, in case you guys missed that, and I actually had my first week this week.
Yeah.
So I go back on Monday, but it went really well. I had a great time. I love everyone that I'm in contact with. I'm doing like social media management for a brand that's based in New York, and they like had no social media presence, so I'm literally running everything, and I have so much to do, and it's great, and I have like total like creative freedom, and I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's like exactly what I wanted to do. And they just bumped up like how many hours I'm actually going to be able to work, so it's going to be, it's
something. It's really cool.
I'm so excited. So that's allowing me to be on an even better schedule, because I was already getting up early and stuff. But now I have, like, because they're New York, I need to be up earlier for getting into work, because obviously I want to be like on
corresponding when they're in and stuff. You know what I mean?
So it helps with my schedule. But like the way that I like to do it is like I like to get up and I like to have an hour to myself to spend time with Chris in the morning before we both have to do stuff and before you're off to work or whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
Because I purposely like have us wake up earlier than we need to, just because it's nice to have that hour to like have your coffee, have breakfast,
wake up fully,
because like every time I sleep late and then I have to do something, I'm just like, it's not as good. Yeah. I'm sure that's how you feel too. So.
Absolutely. But yeah, we kind of just do that. And then in terms of like scheduling other things, we do our nighttime routine and we schedule in the podcast. Usually we record on like the day before or the day of the show going up.
Yeah, we try to keep our weekends to do nothing, just so that we actually can either get any kind of like cleaning or other errands done, or like if we're going out and doing something.
We, like you said, there's a day where I'm not doing anything at all today, and like I feel like we definitely try and keep one day of the weekend to a day where we don't have to do any kind of like errands or work related things, just to like keep like healthy mentally, to like have a day where you just do the things that you want to do and not like just running all these errands and shit like that.
That was yesterday.
It's usually Saturday.
Yeah, because I was like, at Friday I was only in work for a little bit because I have my therapy session, and then after that I was like, okay, this bitch did a lot this week. I've been the most productive I've been definitely since leaving YouTube, and honestly for a while, because it's giving me structure that I very much needed.
Yeah, that's the con of working for yourself.
Yeah, because I mean I'm responsible, but at the same time,
it's easy.
I'm also self. I don't know.
When you're dealing with all the things that you're dealing with, like
it's easy for me to be like, oh well, I don't have to do it then,
Yeah, exactly.
And now, it also makes me feel like I'm finally at a point where I can have other people be reliant, on me. Like they depend on me to get things done. And before I wasn't in the greatest mental space, so it was easier for me to be doing creative work that I didn't have to really like talk to anybody else about before doing. And now I'm at a place mentally where I feel like, okay, I can absolutely be dependent on, and I'm not gonna like just
flop,
drop everything, or like I don't know, there's a lot that comes with that I'm sure if you've been in my position before, you've thought about it, but it's good, it's all good, I'm feeling great. Honestly,
it's exciting. I can't wait to see. Also, now when somebody asks, what do? You don't have to say, like, well, I'm a YouTuber, like that whole weird conversation. Now it's not so weird to describe what a YouTuber is, but before it's like, so you make videos for YouTube?
Well, at that point, like, I don't know, like, a lot of people don't even say that. They just say, like, content creator, because they are everywhere else. Now I can be, saying that.
I'm a social media manager.
I'm a social media manager and I have a podcast,
Yeah.
That's great. Honestly, that's great for me. And then I'm still trying to do, like, this art stuff. It's definitely taken the back burner because I'm trying to get, like, used to this new job. But, like, as soon as I start to kind of understand...
Once you have a schedule and a routine to that...
Yeah, then I can figure out when I'm going to do art and just, like, have some, sales on my store every once in a while.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do, too,
All right, guys. Well, thanks for having a cup of Detroit Bold with us. As it says here, boldly made in the Motown.
Oh, there's bold beginnings as well on the back here. I love a bag that has a nice story.
It has a lot of bold on it. I think it might be bold coffee.
I would say so.
It's
and
good,
honestly,
by
it was
the
pretty
way.
good. Like, did we even say?
No, we didn't say anything.
I do like it. I drank my entire cup now. It's not like too bold where it feels like too acidic for me.
I feel you.
Anyway, so benches, stay tuned. We're gonna rattle you off, and then the rest of you guys, we'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So originally we were supposed to go to the Tulip Festival this weekend, so we wrote a list about what you guys would be as flowers, but we didn't even go. So just enjoy some nice flowers.
Yes, add this to your collection of things that you guys are.
Hopefully you identify with it.
We got Nicole Dowling, who is Colt's Foot.
Melanie Weldon is Speedwell.
Alex Capraro is Dunce Cap Larkspur.
Kim Boisvert is Vervain, Vampire Diaries.
Shannon Shires is Nightshades.
Alicia McKee is Donkey Tail.
Kimberly Proza is Pincushion Protea.
Sammy Jessam is Harry Balsam Root.
Oh. Sarah Booth is Betty Boop Rose.
Kate Condry is Confederate Rose.
Taylor Collins is Blue Sailors.
Emma Corbeil is Chicory.
Sloane Fuller is Common Mullion.
Angelica Feliz is Angelica.
Liv Maltby is Oregon Checker Mallow.
Megan Oxley is Oxeye Daisy.
Daisy Blossom Dottie is, whoa, wait for this one, a daisy.
The moment you've all been waiting for. Mary Beth Murphy is Marigold.
Valerie Molina is Lily of the Valley.
Kennedy Rochelle is Shell Ginger.
M. Simek is Common Persimmon.
Isn't that a fruit, though?
These are flowering things. These are things that flower.
A reach. Rebecca Edmondson is Poison Hemlock.
Taryn Parker is Cow Parsnip.
Alana Barbosa is Barberton Daisy.
Lucy is Loose Strife.
Me after a long week. Megan Ashley is American Mountain Ash.
Mountain Ash, fucking Teen Wolf. Cody Castillo is Chantilly Lace.
Bailey Lynn is Belinda's Dream Rose.
Emily Tormey is Candy Store.
Sonny Vasbrun is Butler's Broom.
Sabrina Hughes is Brigadoon Rose.
Fiona is Coffee Plant. Whoa.
Stephanie Oliver is Black Olive.
Me. Juanita Carr is Caramel Coral Bells.
Annie Wynn is Pinky Winky Hydrangea.
Lila! Cassandra Lee is Sandpaper Vine.
Emma Nygren is Lily of the Nile.
Courtney Hall is Balloon Flower.
Becca Jansen is Jane Magnolia.
Angela Sue is Angel's Trumpet.
Michelle North is Easy Wave Shell Pink Petunia.
Erin Bray is Brazilian Gold Shrub.
Jada Goshi is Durango Gold Marigold.
My Elizabeth is Elizabeth Ginger.
Ishbel Mendez is Disco Bell Swamp Mallow.
Okay. Talia Miller is Maximilian Sunflower.
Margarita is Lamarne.
Avery Labelson is Spanish Bluebell.
Chloe Archer is a clover.
Anthony Hood is Monk's Hood.
Mariah Hanna is Amaryllis.
Liz Hallbrook is American Holly.
Jennifer Habgood is Goodwin Creek Lavender.
Madison Greer is Green Hawthorn.
Madison Wolf is Wolf's Bane.
Megan McNally is Oregon Pop Cactus.
Megan Preyes is Prairie Sun Black-Eyed Susan.
Cora Springfield is a Spring Star.
Ilka is a Milk and Wine Lily.
Jacksador Who is Weeping Jack. Who is Jack? We found out this episode.
Nicole Allen is Bonica Rose.
Courtney White is Plush White Petunia.
Bridget Carey Davis is Carefree Beauty Rose.
Jennifer Cornwell is Gourmet Popcorn Rose. What the fuck?
Sophia Cock is Peacock Flower.
Ash Roselle is an Artistry Rose.
Jackie Burkhart is an Autumn Sweetheart.
Beth Fonseca is Henry Fonda Rose.
Ian Murphy is a Summer Lily.
Kendall Berg is Iceberg Rose.
Megan Grilly is a Pomegranate.
Okay. Chloe Ireland is a Belle of Ireland.
Taka Roach is a Railroad Vine.
Haley Cadwallader is a Siberian Wallflower.
Camellia Mulkey is the Purple Poppy Mallow.
Maddie Pullman is the Titan Polka Dot Periwinkle.
Whoa. Amanda Pete is the Neon Sweet William.
Who is William? Caitlin Whalen is Lenny's Magnolia.
Cody Robinson is the Crimson Beauty.
Lauren Chavone is Carolina Laurel.
Dana Daly is the Savannah Holly.
Claire Wood is Vera Wood Azalea.
Anna Hernandez is the Louisiana Iris.
Sarah is Sarah's Choice. Interesting.
Vlyn and Drew are the Daydream Rose.
Hillary Gay is the Foothill Biscuit Root.
Ooh. Mackenzie Knight is the Starry Night Rose.
And Rachel Evans is the Bachelor's Button.
Whoa.
That's like Benjamin Button, but he doesn't age backwards.
So all of the other bench shows, I think they are what you call wishies.
Yeah. Oh, I love a good wish. We got Allison Francois.
Ashley Riefenberger.
Joanna Jensen.
Mallory.
Allie Malone.
Kathleen Wynn.
And Rose Barnett. Rose.
With
a name like Rose. It has to be Spucker. So thanks, guys, for supporting the show. We love you all. And we hope that this spring you pick a flower and you call it Susan. All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.